The old self-sabotage. Why do so many of us men unconsciously ruin the very things we want in life? We want healthy relationships, good careers. Self-sabotage isn't about failure. It's about fear, shame, and some of these deep unconscious memories and stories that we've been telling ourselves for years. The take-home message of this conversation is to understand the hidden roots of your self-sabotaging, why we do it. You know, when things are going well, I jokingly say, I'm pinching myself, it's too good to be true. You know, how do we begin to recognise the subtle ways that self-sabotage shows up in our lives? And how do we learn to start interrupting the pattern and building a deeper sense of self-trust and self-worth, or connecting to that deep essence within ourselves? What does self-sabotage look like in men? The number one is, guess what? Procrastination. Procrastinating on goals that really matter to us will balls it up. Picking fights in our relationships, either at work. Quitting when things are going well. A big one is using substances, overdoing it. Porn, overwork. Isolation, you know, as a way of coping. And putting ourselves down, playing small, even though we know we're capable of doing more. That we are sabotaging. We think we're being realistic and not ready, but often it's fear in disguise. Why do we self-sabotage? Fear of failure is the first one. And you know, it can stem back in life. What if I try and it doesn't work? And in past, things haven't worked. It's not a failure. There can be fear of success. If I succeed, I'll be more visible. I might lose it all. Or it's an old identity. You've been a struggler or the lone wolf for so long, and you know, thriving feels foreign off. To feel good's not right. And there can be a load of unconscious, subconscious guilt and shame, which facilitates this belief that we're undeserving of love and peace and success in our lives. You know, if we grew up without emotional safety, success might feel unsafe, and peace in our lives might be unfamiliar. So it's how do we learn to change that dynamic? And there's the deeper layers of these emotional wounds, which I've talked about a lot in this channel, and we just suppress it, bury them. As men, we're just taught to perform and achieve and be stoic. Our emotional pain gets pushed down the rabbit holes and not healed. It'll keep coming back. And over time, when we keep doing this, our nervous system becomes wired for chaos, not calm. You know, and when things are going well, you know, oh, hang on, this is not right. Hang on. Guess what? You're not broken. You've just been wired to protect yourself, even though those old ways are outdated. Now, how do we begin to break the cycle? And this is going to require a level of mindfulness, a level of looking deeper. How do we name the pattern of our self-sabotaging without shaming it? How do we bring awareness to when and why and how we do it? You know, don't moralise it. Mindfully observe it. Here's where I usually pull away. Right. Here's where I distract myself. Just begin to ask yourself the little questions. You know, step 2, connect with the emotions beneath the action. Now, we're not very good at connecting to emotions, and that's what this channel's about. What am I afraid will happen if I keep moving forward? Often, can it be a fear of being seen, rejection, abandonment, or I'm not good enough? And if that's been a father wound, that I'm not good enough is a father wound, that can keep playing out. Fear isn't a failure, but there is an emotional exposure that comes with our growing. We're not going to get it right at times. Step 3, how do we wire through small acts of self-trust and self-worth? Self-trust isn't built by fixing everything at once, we bid all or nothing. It grows by keeping the small promises to yourself, Show up for one more workout. Just do that 10%. Speak an honest sentence. Say no when you usually say yes as a people pleaser. Now, the antidote to self-sabotage isn't motivation, it's consistency. Motivation's a bit like a willpower. It's a muscle, it runs out. Now, step 4 is learning to practice, hey, things are going well. And don't brace for fear of, oh, it's going to balls up. When love shows up, don't run for it. When you're proud of yourself, let yourself feel it. It's not fig jamming it. Goodness is a skill, not just a gift. Now, self-development isn't about pushing yourself harder like in the gym. It's about allowing more goodness, allowing yourself to, how often do you do gratitude statements? How do you have gratitude for what you've done during the day? If you've been sabotaging without realizing, don't beat yourself up. Just become aware of it, start noticing it, and when you're ready, start choosing differently in smaller ways. If you're going to procrastinate, stop the procrastination. Just do 10%. Because when you begin to show up, you're going to start breaking this old pattern, this old neural wiring. You're becoming a man who doesn't run from his own power. When we empower ourselves, it's not having power over someone. It's a gift within ourselves. If you're liking what you hear in this channel, please subscribe. Drop a comment. What's one self-sabotaging pattern that you'd like to break? List it in the comments. That's putting it out there. That's a step forward. The more we can label it, we can identify it, we can do something differently with it. And that is going to take practice. And the more we practice developing a positive mindset, we do begin to start reducing the amount of self-sabotaging we do. And the more we reduce the amount of self-sabotaging we do, the less self-criticism, the less internalized anger that we're going to have at ourselves. What a gift to give to yourself. And allow that authentic you to step forward. That is your goodness. You are good. Be gentle and enjoy.